This is the first time firing it up. It ain't got no muffler on it, but I just want to make sure it's gonna fire. It'll be a little loud. Let me start this video by saying nobody got hurt. People make mistakes. I made a mistake, and all involved made a mistake. But the fire suppression works. Amy and I were here clearing stuff out, burning some stuff at the far end. She called. I left to go run some errands and do some stuff at home, and she called and said, hey, I think it's out. It's just smoldering. It looks like it's all the way out. Do you want to put some water on it? When I was here, we had a hard time keeping that fire going. So I didn't think water was necessary. So I said, no, just make sure it's out. You're good to go. So she left. An hour and 15 minutes passes in that time that she left and I got here. When I came down Cooper Road, there was so much smoke on the road, you couldn't hardly see. And I thought, man, that's a lot of smoke for something that was smoldering. So as I pulled in the drive, our field was on fire. Not bad. We've been keeping the grass cut. We trimmed the trees we trimmed today is where the fire was basically at that time, a couple feet high. It's starting to climb the pine trees. I grabbed a rake in my feet and got it put out, and then got it knocked down rather, and then went and got the fire suppression unit, added some water to it, and now I'm knocking it down. But I'll take you down there and show you what it looked like. So here's where it was on fire when I got here. These are the trees we trimmed. Normally there was so much brush and stuff around the bottom of the ground that we would have lost these trees for sure. But right in here's where I got it stopped with my feet first, and then I grabbed a rake, kept raking it out, got it knocked down. Still a little bit of a smolder there. But the fire started, we started the fire down here by towards where my van is sitting. And we were burning this little corner down here. And when she left, she said this is what was out right here. And you can see we got grass, but it's like there's crabgrass interwoven in it. But we're burning this area right here. And these trees are green. Like it was hard to keep going. And it was almost out when I left. But it rekindled, got going. That little bitty spot right there. That's where it first came out. And it got into this. And thank God it turned before it got into the pine trees, or we'd have had a real problem. But it came out here. You can see where it started coming out away from everything, burning the grass, putting itself out, burning the grass, putting itself out. And I'm pretty sure wind current probably did a lot of this. But you can see how thick this was. And up here where it's still going pretty good, it burnt that big oak log. That oak tree ain't been laying there more than a couple months. But it burnt all the way. There were sticks and stuff out here. It burnt it all the way into there. And that's my next spot to get knocked down. But I'm gonna soak this grass real good again. But you can see it came through here. Then I guess the wind shifted again. Got up into here and just followed it right underneath these trees. Pine trees don't have a drip edge like other trees do, so the ground isn't as dry or isn't as wet in those spots. As you can see here, where it just burned right through it quick. Right here's where it was climbing the trees when I got here. Probably ruined the towel, but I got it off the trees and then I knocked it down on the ground and just started stomping it out. I'm gonna fire up the fire suppression unit here and soak this down real good and head over to them big oak logs. So the way this works is, got a generator plugged in, got the pump plugged in here, turn it on, good old Harbor Freight generator, one pull should start every time. And down in here, there's a submersible pump. Some people call them a pool pump. Got a hose hooked up. I got about 200 gallons of water. I keep it running down in the tank so I don't lose no water while I'm moving it around. So all you gotta do is pull the hose out. You don't need a bunch of water to knock down a brush fire. You just need enough to stop the spread, because once the fuel's gone, it really don't burn anymore. But hindsight's 20/20, as everybody knows. And I got 50 foot on here. All I gotta do is walk with the hose. It's kind of nice. When I lived in Indiana, I was on rural fire departments and got my introduction to brush fires. And honestly, I put more acreage out with my feet and a paddle, which is basically a mud flap on a stick, than I ever did with water, because you can't get water most of the time. This fire suppression unit, it's a rarity for people to have one, much less most departments. When I was in Moores Hill, they had a brush truck. The best one I've ever seen was in East Enterprise. And it hauled, I want to say 500 gallons of water, and it had a curtain all the way around the truck. So you basically started the pump, got back in the truck and drove through the fire, and it put it out. It was pretty nice. But it also had a bunch of, paddles and rakes and shovels and air packs. But yeah, that's the excitement for today. I'm letting that burn over there a little bit. Just trying to get some of the fuel source to go away. Hopefully it'll put itself out, and then all I gotta do is soak it down real good so it can't refire. But down there's where it started. Climbed all the way down here. Started, I guess the wind shifted, because the wind originally was blowing towards the pine trees. Thank God for that, because if it would have got into them pine trees, I don't know what would have happened. But this is a whole lot of what I'll be doing for about the next hour or so. And I can open this up and get a ton more water out of it, but I try to use as much water effectively as I can. But yeah, big shout out to my wife for asking me to scrape off the patio and put the dirt in a bucket. And I brought it over here to dump the dirt out, and that's when I found this problem. So if I hadn't went to do that, it might have went out on its own, but I don't think it would have, because it had pretty good momentum going when I got here. And like I said, thank God it wasn't going into the pine trees, because we would have had a real problem. So thanks for tuning in. See you at the next one.